As far as the roles and responsibilities go, the team lead is going to be the one cutting in the ceilings and down the corners a few feet and around the tops of the windows and doors and kind of wrapping around the edge. The apprentice is going to cut in around the baseboards, basically anywhere where it's masked off, around outlets and vents, finishing off these corners and the bottoms of these windows. So that's going to apply for the first few walls, at least. If it's a two-person team, then they're going to double back and start rolling the walls. They want to roll into a wet edge. And then the team lead will kind of take care of all of the cutting. They'll take care of the tops and the bottoms. And if the apprentice catches up to the team lead, they're going to help them out by cutting in the bottoms again. Now that's if it's a two-person team. If it's a three-person team, you're going to have one apprentice cutting in the bottoms. You're going to have your team lead cutting in the ceilings and the tops. And then you're going to have a third apprentice rolling out the walls. Okay, so this is one of the most important parts for a team lead, and that is to set a daily goal that is realistic and make sure that the team that's assigned to the project is working efficiently and kind of follows this production system. We set a daily goal of 4 bedrooms. Basically, one bedroom should take one person 4 hours to paint. So if you have 2 people, you should be able to paint 4 bedrooms in one day. So we have this bedroom right here. We're going to paint this bedroom, and this bedroom. So the apprentice is going to start by laying all the drop cloths down in all these bedrooms all at once. And the team lead is going to go through, walk through these rooms and take care of any of the pre-paint repairs. And then together they're going to start masking off the trim and removing the outlet covers, kind of get everything ready to paint. And then they're going to start applying the paint. The team lead is going to cut in the ceilings. The apprentice is going to cut in the lowers in bedroom number 1. And then before they get too far ahead of themselves, they want to double back and start rolling the walls. They just want to make sure that they roll into a wet edge. And then they're going to go on to bedroom number 2 and do the same thing. Cut in the ceilings, roll the walls, bedroom 3, and bedroom 4. Once all 4 bedrooms are painted, then you can double back and then you can start doing your repairs, spot check, make sure everything is really good to go before you apply your final coat of paint. Now, one of the reasons why we have this kind of workflow going from one bedroom to the next and not just focusing on one bedroom and completing that from start to finish is because of dry times. You don't want to wait on paint to dry. So you also want to make sure that you have a box fan running in each one of these bedrooms and make sure things are drying down and you're not waiting on things to dry. So all your repairs are done, everything's been sanded, your final time, you're going to go through and do the same process. Your team lead is going to cut in your ceilings and the lowers if they have to. Your apprentice is going to go ahead and roll your walls. You're going to do bedroom 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the rooms are completed. You just have to go back and start cleaning everything up. So you're going to remove your masking, kind of work together, have your apprentice remove the masking if you can, so they can check for their own touch-ups. Fold up your drop cloths, replace your outlet covers, vacuum the rooms out. You really want to close each room out completely so that the homeowner can use that room that night. So you're going to start with bedroom 1, 2, 3, and 4 until everything is done. And then you're going to take all your supplies at the end of the day, put it back onto your workstation so that the job site is nice and clean. So that's more or less how you would kind of handle it on a day-to-day basis. Same thing would apply for the following day. You would set a goal. You're going to do this master bathroom. You're going to do this bathroom, the hallway, the stairwell. Now with bathrooms, it's a little bit different because it's usually kind of a confined space. So what I would probably do is if you have 2 people working on site is one person would handle the bathroom entirely. Another person would handle the other bathroom entirely. And then maybe while they're each waiting on their bathrooms to kind of dry down, they can go into the hall, into the stairwell and start working on that as a team. But it's better to paint bathrooms kind of solo. Let's say that you set a lofty goal. We had 4 bedrooms in this scenario, but let's say you set a goal for 4 bedrooms and maybe the stairwell as well, or this hallway, and you didn't quite get to painting the hallway, but you had laid drop cloths down and you had installed outlet covers. Well, you're going to need to reinstall your outlet covers and fold up your drop cloths. That's just because at the end of the day, you have to have the entire job site cleaned up. It's okay if you have masking down, you don't have to remove that. But anything that you disassembled, you or you lay drop cloths down, you have to make sure you clean that up at the end of the day for safety reasons. You don't want the homeowner or maybe their children tripping over a drop cloth or accidentally using a light switch where they could electrocute themselves. So that's pretty much how you want to handle the workflow on a project for interior wall painting. So when we use these paint trays, you see a thin coat of paint right here. Well, that will dry up fairly quickly. So if you're going on break or you have maybe an hour or two where you're not actually using the roller and keeping this area wet, you're going to want to cover it with plastic. Now, if you're going to be going overnight, then you're going to want to clean this pan out, put it back into your gallon, and throw this away. Put a new tray in here. That way you don't have any paint that dries up on the edges here, drops down into your finish, and ends up on your final coat of paint. So I just have some 72-inch hand masker film. You could also use 48-inch and put it over the top of your paint here. Just kind of seal it up along the edges, press it down here. So this type of seal would be good for maybe a couple hours while you're not using it or when you go on break. But that's about it. Overnight, you're going to want to get it cleaned up. So now if you're at the end of your day, you're going to take your paint and get it poured into your gallon here. Take a brush and get all that paint out of there. And just take this tray and throw it away into one of our garbage cans on site. And as far as the gallon that you're using, just clean out this edge right here. Put your lid on. And you need to put a rag over this. If you don't and you just hit this, paint could splatter everywhere. So make sure you get a rag put on this. Tap your gallon down. You wrap your brush up with a little bit of plastic, and then you can bring it back to the shop or your house to get it washed up. Ideally, we wash all of our equipment back at the shop or at our house. It's just going to be easier, and we're not going to have the customer sink to clean up. That's not always the case if you're switching colors on the job site. If they do have a utility sink, then you can use it in that case. Just make sure that any sink that you do use at the customer's house, you clean up after every use. Clean it out with a rag. You don't want to leave any remnants of paint in there. But that should be seldom. That should only be if you're changing colors while you're on site and you need to get your equipment washed up. If you're going to be using the same paint and the same color the next day, you can lay some 12-inch plastic down on a drop cloth and roll your roller up in it and seal it up with some tape. You would also want to seal your roller cover up if you're going on break or you're not going to be rolling walls for a couple hours. If you're not going to be using your brush for a while, get it wrapped up with a damp rag or some 12-inch plastic. That'll avoid damaging the bristles. At the end of the day, you will want to make sure you wash it. If you finish using that paint color, or let's say that you're not coming back to the job site for a few days, it's maybe a Friday and you're not coming back till Monday, you're going to want to knife out all the paint in that roller cover and then clean it up back at the shop. These are after photos from that project. As a team lead, before you close the project out and you ask the homeowner to kind of check for touch-ups, you want to go through each room and just make sure everything looks good. You want to clean up your workstation and the floors underneath. On the night before you expect to finish, communicate to the homeowner that you're expecting to finish the following day and ask them to just kind of walk through the area so you can take care of any touch-ups the following day as you finish up and you still have tools and materials out there. And then as you're finishing, let the customer know you appreciate their business, thank them for the work, and then you can also ask them to leave you a review. That concludes our video on how to paint walls. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below.